Hello everyone, it's DA here with a new Anthem gameplay breakdown. A huge shout out to WiLLis Gaming for supplying this footage. I will be linking his channel below, so go ahead and check him out. Today we're going to be looking at the DPS values in terms of weapon variations, and I will also be going through the Storm Javelin and its ability variants. We will combine that with the hopes of a smooth gameplay experience. Before we proceed, I believe he is using a mouse and a keyboard here, which also explains some inconsistencies in terms of his reticle movement, so deep apologies if you are feeling a little bit dizzy. Now, if you also will be playing on PC, then I recommend using an Xbox controller, but with that said, let's get into it. First, let us break down the enemy variation in respect to gearing up. Of course, a lot of us already know that enemies come in the usual grunts, then you have a major, and then you have another level above that, and then you have another level, and of course it goes on till you get to the boss level. That is pretty much explanatory. However, certain enemies also have resistance and weaknesses to certain elements. While resistance is not always high for every enemy, it can make combat a little bit difficult than usual. If you are the casual gamer, then your first thoughts will be to keep on pumping lead into that enemy. While that may be quite beneficial on lower levels, the higher you go in difficulty in Anthem, enemy levels will require a lot more than just bullet and damage. Crowd control, debuff, and repositioning will be very important. Some of them have shields, some of them have a hard back or a hard front, so you may want to look for their sweet spot. This is why it is also fun to play in groups, because chances are someone will bring a gear item that could be quite beneficial, or you can have someone else drawing the aggro while someone else flanks and get that weak spot. So it is more of a give and take situation. The game is going to be fun solo, but you will get the best out of it in groups. Thank God there is matchmaking for everything. Now, in terms of Javelin selection, he is using the Storm Javelin. Storm, as most of us know, is a glass cannon. A Javelin that has a high CC, high shields. Playing Storm solo will require lots of repositioning and ability cast. Granted, this gameplay is from the alpha build, but the message will still apply even in the demo and the full game release. Due to the lack of instant mobility or super speed like the Interceptor, or the lack of the ability to tank like the Colossus, the Storm Javelin will be in a tough spot whenever you get cornered. Getting cornered is like a death sentence in some cases, unless you're just that good. Storm also has what is known as seals, and seals is where that multiple ability cast comes into play. The blast seal and the focus seal are the seals. Blast is oriented towards smaller targets, while the focus seal is oriented towards major enemies and bosses. And you will notice that every time you see those small chunks of ice flying out, that is the blast seal, and when you see the big chunks, those are going to be your focus seal. So that is very important. Focus seal mostly on major enemies and bosses, while you have the blast seal, which is quite easier and recastable for smaller targets. While most of your gameplay may end up having you use the blast seal, the focus seal can also be your get out of trouble ability. Now with the Javelin out of the way, let's get to the weapons. This is one thing that I will advise you, a huge suggestion when getting into this game. Don't be the guy and girl who brings a sniper rifle and a slow firing weapon. Don't be the person who brings in 2 sniper rifles or 2 slow firing weapons. It is very important to pay attention to this. He immediately noticed his mistakes here. Sniper rifles are great damage dealing weapons. They are also single target oriented. This means they can melt certain enemies and deal critical strikes, but they are not the best choice when it comes to clearing mobs of enemies. This is why you need to bring a high firing assault rifle with you. His other weapon was not an assault rifle, it is a slow firing scout rifle, and that is also a bad thing to bring. You can only have one downfall at a single time, and I'm glad that I have this footage so I can break some things down and show you guys what not to do. In other words, Bring your special weapon, your flamethrowers, your rocket launchers, your grenade launchers, all those things, and then bring a basic assault rifle. It is very important. Back to our previous point on getting cornered. A high firing weapon can help you clear out enemies, while sniper rifles will not. Though snipers are great for any Javelin, the best result is going to be pairing it up with an Interceptor. A lot of you already know about the Interceptor and the sniper perks, but to refresh your memory, Interceptors have an ability that lets you mark targets and amplify the damage dealt to that target. Marking a target and then using snipers on it will just deal them massive damage. This is why a lot of people will be pairing up the Interceptor with a sniper rifle, because you will get that high amount of damage output. Also, let's be honest here, you never know when you will stumble upon a superior enemy. But once again, from my own experience, at the end of everything, I advise you to use a controller when you are playing on PC. It is just the best feeling ever, no dizziness, none of that glitchy stuff, and since there is no PvP on launch, you're really not losing on anything if you use a controller. That's going to be it from me. Once again, a huge thanks to WiLLis Gaming for letting me use his footage for this breakdown. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.